This is Late Tea Time, the golf betting podcast that finds the best betting value closer to the first shot being struck than anyone else.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.
And a very warm welcome to you all, Late Tea Time Podders. I'm James, and I'll bring him on straight away, shall I? Because he's lovely little faced, deserves an airing. Dave Tindall alongside me. DT, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. And this week we're looking ahead to the President's Cup, which I was just saying to you prior to going live there, that Ryder Cup, obvious. President's Cup is something that I think goes under the radar a little bit more than maybe it should do, because I've been looking at it. It's USA against the rest of the world, basically, an international team. Why is it not more well known? Or am I just not been looking in the right places?
Well, I guess we're not in it, are we? As in Europe. So maybe it's better known in America than here. But yeah, it's obviously not as prestigious, not as much history as the Ryder Cup. It only goes back into the 90s. So, it's still a good week. It's still, you don't get many sort of team events in golf, apart from the other place. But this is, it should be good.
So for the Americans, this is their way of playing another Ryder Cup against the rest of the world that aren't in the Ryder Cup, basically, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it used to be the case where that spell when they were being thrashed by Europe, they used to keep winning this to sort of make themselves feel a bit better. So it has been useful. I mean, it can be a good sort of stepping stone for American players to have a go at this. But obviously it's hasn't got the same tradition, but it's building up. Still a big week.
I've looked at the teams briefly, and the international team, to me anyway, looks a little bit weaker than the US team. Looks quite strong, and the markets kind of reflect that a little bit. USA are best price of 1 to 6 to win the President's Cup. The international side, best price of 8 to 1 to win it. The tie between the two sides is around about 18 to 1. Do you think that fairly accurately reflects the standard of the two sides?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a large amount of opinion that the USA will absolutely hammer them, and they've won the last 8, to be fair. So it's not the kind of back and forth of the Ryder Cup where I think 7 of the last 8 Ryder Cups have been won by the home team. So that's, even though you're trying to find some sort of logic in it, it seems to be home advantage in Ryder Cups has been massive. I mean, we beat them easily at Europe, beat them easily at Le Golf National, and then they hammered us at Whistling Straits. And yeah, it was a huge margin last time. Obviously, Liv has had a big effect though on the team lineups, because Cam Smith obviously would have been a key man for the international. He's gone. Joaquin Neiman, he's not there. Abraham Ancer, who played well in the last President's Cup, he's gone. Then America have lost some players too. DJ, Koepka, DeChambeau, Patrick Reed, they've all had to go. So yeah, both sides have certainly been hit. But if you look on world rankings, you see that's why the prices are as they are, because the Americans just dominate.
I suppose when you talk about having home advantage in Europe, until we left with Brexit, Europe is one kind of entity, whereas the rest of the world, the international side, having a home where everybody feels that they're actually at home is quite a difficult thing, isn't it, in terms of the President's Cup? Final question, DT, before I let you get into the prices and your best bets this week. Is it the same format as the Ryder Cup?
No, it's more points. It's played over 30 points. And, it's played over 4 days as well. So it starts Thursday, Ryder Cup Friday to Sunday. So there's 30 points on offer, but it's kind of the same format in terms of foursomes and 4 balls and singles on the Sunday. But just that little wrinkle with the amount of points on offer.
we're not going to get rich, Dave, backing the US at 1-6, are we? And I mean, we could get rich backing the international side at 8-1, but maybe that's not the wisest bet in the world. So where are we going to try and find some betting value in this tournament?
Yeah, so I've been looking to try and find the handicap, because I think you ask anybody in golf really, and they'll go, yeah, this is a USA big win. So that's your starting point. So then you start to think, well, can I pick holes in that? Is this necessarily the case? And what I've come back to, even though, yeah, they keep winning this, the Americans, they don't often hammer the internationals. Sometimes they seem to be, and then maybe they drop their guard and lose points on the final day. And then the actual winning margin tends to be, yeah, it's significant, but not huge. So I think there's only one in the last 8 that's actually been over 5 points, an 8-point win. So if you look at the handicaps, so this is what I wanted to find, because not all the bookies are doing them. But if you go to Coral, they've got a handicap market, and the line is 6.5. So the internationals get a 6.5 start. So basically, if they can absorb an 18-12 loss and anything better than that. So even if they lose 18-12, if you back them on the handicap at plus 6.5, you're winning.
Yeah.
So it's even money plus 6.5, the internationals. That's the one I'm going to go for. I got a feeling Trevor Immelman, former Masters winner, will be one of these sort of excellent, meticulous captains who leaves no stone unturned. I mean, Davis Love's had a crack at it before, and he was, he's had some good times and not so good times. He was the captain when Europe came back to win at Medina. So for him, I don't really know there's not a lot he can do. He's got these best players, and he can talk about, which pairings and everything. But it's almost like the American team is self-working, it's self-operating. There's loads of brilliant players. It's how do you pair them? Whereas I think for Immelman, it's more a case of, how do I make this greater than the sum of its parts? Every little angle, what can I bring out and change and get those points on the board? And I just got a feeling they'll do better than most people think. So
I saw a little video of Trevor Immelman finding his little home on the course, and looking quite emotional, maybe a bit, but looks like he's really into it.
Oh, totally, yeah, he's totally into it. I mean, when he won the Masters, he was like an underdog, 150-1. So he's used to sort of having his back to the wall in America. But I just think he's a good bloke, and I think he will bring out the best in them. So I'm not saying it'll be tight all the way. It could just be it lands something like 17-13 by dint of maybe the singles being less one-sided than you think. And yeah, the USA might run away with it to begin with. But I just think when you're adding it all up at the end, I think the internationals can get within 6 points.
Okay, so it's Coral on the handicaps. You said 6.5 at what price?
Even money.
Even money. So,
yeah. I mean, everyone's got correct score lines, but I couldn't find many bookies with a handicap market. But Coral do have that.
Is there any other market that appeals?
Yeah, so sticking with the internationals, I think when you look at the American team, and you're trying to pick a top point score, it's like, well, they're all brilliant. It's all it's hard to sort of to see where you just think that they'll all share the points. There's no particular weak links or anything. But I think if you look at the international 12, I think there is scope there. So I've got a couple of bets in that one. So there's a guy playing. Let's just find the market. Who's, I don't know if you've heard of him before, called Tom Kim.
I haven't.
Tom not being his actual name. Do you know why he's called Tom Kim rather than his Korean name?
Tell me.
We might have said this before, because he was as a kid, he was a fan of Thomas the Tank Engine.
You've never told me that before. I would have remembered that.
Yeah. So he's one of the Korean contingent, and I got some good quotes. We're doing this on the Wednesday, so as usual we hold back. But there's some great quotes from some of his teammates. Adam Scott said he's our secret little weapon. British viewers would have seen him play really well in the Scottish Open. He was third there. Then he went to America and won after that. So he's kind of come up, not quite from nowhere, but he's really sort of flung himself into the spotlight. And one of the good things about him is that he speaks absolutely brilliant, fluent English. Now, some of the Koreans don't, and it can possibly be a little bit of a problem in trying to kind of unify everyone quickly. So Tom King, even though he's this young rookie, everyone is kind of saying he's super funny, so fluent in English. He's kind of bringing everyone together. So I've got a feeling he will play all 5 matches. They'll wheel him out in every match they possibly can.
So you call him Tom King, but is he the gentleman that's Yu Hyung Kim?
Yes, that's how he'll look on the odds markets.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone speaks so highly of him. And yeah, I just got a feeling he's going to be playing all the time. I mean, he's got some obvious partners because there's some Koreans and there's Hideki Matsuyama of Japan. But because he speaks such good English, you could literally pair him with anybody, and he's not narrowed down as to who he can go with. And he's just such a good player. So I'm going to play him for top. Yeah, see, there's different ways you can do it. There's top international rookie, there's top international wild card. I just think he'll be their top scorer. So I'm going to go with top international point scorer. So out of all 12 of them, he's going to get most points.
Well, he's 15-2 with Skybet.
Yeah,
to get the most points. So that's Tom King or Yu Hyung Kim, 15-2 with Skybet to be the top international point scorer. Then with that one, anything else for me?
Yeah. So in another market, there's another player that I think is going to have quite an impact that seems to be written off as one of the rags. Taylor Pendrith of Canada. I've seen a bit on him, and there's lots of clever people around, and there's a feeling that he's really fits this course, Quail Hollow.
I don't really know too much about him, and I have to confess, the first time I really heard his name mentioned, you shared a song. Somebody was playing on the piano, and he's one of the lines in that, isn't he?
Yeah. So Sam started off just doing his little songs, and now he's over there and meeting everybody. He's really just shot to fame. He did one called When Will Tony Finau Win Again? And since then, Tony Finau has started winning again. So he's been a bit of a lucky charm, maybe. But yeah, Taylor Pendrith, he's kind of right down the bottom end of the top international point scorer betting. But I have a bit of a feeling that he will play more than a lot of people think.
Okay.
Remember those words. So how do we back him? The market I've gone for, can you find top international rookie in your lists?
Let me have a look. We've got top international scorer. There's a top American rookie, top international wild card.
No, keep going. Top
international rookie. Here we go.
Yeah.
Top international rookie.
Yeah.
So Tom King, he's down as Tom King on this sheet. He's 16-5 our Korean, but we have to go down to Taylor Pendrith, 15-2 with Skybet.
Yeah, so that's too big. So if you read out the other names on that list, then
you got Tom King, your mate, the Thomas the Tank Engine. Corey Connors is second favourite. Cameron Davis is third. Then Taylor Pendrith is fourth. And you got Bezwiedenhout, Munoz, K.H. Lee, and Demito Pereira bringing up the rear.
So in that market, Taylor Pendrith avoids some of the really big, obvious names on the international team, like Adam Scott and like Sung Jae-im. So that's why I wanted to sort of pull him away from those two, because I think those two will probably play all 5 games as well. But there's some of those that I think are slightly making up the numbers in that list. Obviously, we've got our fella in there, Tom Kim, but I've got a feeling Pendrith, if he'll be given a chance, and if it goes well, I can see him being used an awful lot. And a lot of the data analysis shows that he looks a brilliant fit for that course. His game tallies with it. So I think if we play him in that market, I mean, you could play Kim in that market as well. Obviously, only one of them can win it. That's another option. But yeah, I think that's the best way to play him, because I think a lot of those are the names you read out. I don't think they're going to be a sort of mainstays of that team.
They're not going to feature as much. You want to get people that are going to hit the most balls, don't you, in that market? So we got 3 picks then this week. Even money with Coral on the handicap, the international side, with basically giving a 6.5 head start. You got Soo Hyung Kim or Tom Kim, 15-2 to be the top international point scorer. And then you got Taylor Pendrith, 15-2 to be the top international rookie. I'm actually going to watch this. I'm going to pay attention to this over the weekend and take it in and see what I think. But looking forward to it, I think. It should be good. Yeah,
it's just hope we get a decent contest and America don't pull away too quickly at the start, because, yeah, they are really good to watch. It's just a break from the norm, isn't it?
I was reading a little bit about it. 2019, I think the internationals got off to a flying start under Ernie Els, and then the Americans under Tiger Woods came flying back in that one. But so hopefully we'll have a bit of drama over the next 4 days for this one as well.
But as I say, that we've got that 6-point buffer. So even if it's going terribly wrong for the internationals, they could still haul it back to win the handicap market on the final day. And I mean, it's one of these ones. It could be an absolute hammering. That's one scenario, but I've just got a feeling it won't be.
Well, we're not going to get into Live, but it's a shame Cam Smith's gone, isn't it? But anyway, that's a totally different tale for another day, unfortunately. DT, thank you as always.
Thanks, James.
And thanks out there, everybody, for watching. Enjoy the President's Cup. You've had the 3 picks of DT as we've looked ahead to the President's Cup in the US over the next few days. And gamble responsibly. We'll be back again next week, as Dave said, where we come to you as late as possible on a Wednesday to bring you the very best bets for the upcoming golf. And by virtue of that, we'll see you again next week. We'll see you then.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.